Folks, we are here today to talk about our patron saint, our Lord and Savior, Miss Johanna Parker, who I'm sure if you are into Halloween, specifically looking for like home goods and the TJX store Halloween, you have at least heard of. If you're clicking on this video, I'm sure you've heard of her and know who she is, or you just saw all of her adorable ceramic objects in the thumbnail and thought, well, that looks great. And it is great. She's definitely my favorite artist who's doing Halloween stuff. I think I would classify her as a folk artist. She, at the very least, has a very folk art kind of style that's clearly inspired by older decorations, like early Halloween decorations. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you the collection that I have been able to gather together over the years. I'll do a little video that just goes over the little collection, and then we'll go through each piece one at a time. So let's get started. All right, folks, here it is. This is my JP collection. It is both a lot and also not enough at the same time. So I'll go through each piece individually, but here's just a look at what I've been able to score so far. I love it so much. Just look at it. Just look at those faces. They're so beautiful. God, they're so beautiful. So I think the piece that I should start with is the mug that I'm currently using right now. I know a lot of people don't use JP's stuff because she is precious and adored and very hard to find, but I really like to use her mugs, especially these ones. A lot of her mugs are like quite large, like they're pretty much soup cups, not even really mugs anymore. And those ones I just display, but this one and another one that I'll get to, I use quite regularly. So let me give you a close-up shot. It has coffee in it right now. It's just, I don't know, there's something about the way that she patterns stuff that I just find so charming, and it feels nostalgic but also very unique to her. Like at this point I feel like when I walk into a store I can pick out JP stuff like that, but I also think that if I were looking at photos from like a vintage Halloween party and I saw this sitting on the table in the photo, I would not feel that it was out of place at all, which I think is part of why people really love her. So this is this guy. So cute. I want to make sure that it focuses. I think it is focusing. Adorable. I love her eyes too. The eyes I think are one of my favorite things about the way that she does her work, which I think is true of a lot of people too. Like true for a lot of people and how they feel about it. So I think we'll do mugs first. Then we'll do some of the other pieces, you know, since I began with this one. I made a linens video already going through the rest of my linens, so if you want to see the JP linens that I've picked up, you have to go to that one because I'm not going to do it again. Let's put that one to the side and start with this guy, who is a very similar type of mug. This is another mug that I use regularly. I was using it in my other videos. Super cute, very large, but also not like so ridiculously large that I feel like an idiot drinking out of it, you know? That one I think is just amazing. I love, love, love the design that she came up with. And a lot of JP's stuff has this kind of loop-de-loop thing that I'm not a huge fan of, especially on her linens. But in this context, I was really into that. So I feel like that totally works. And I really like when people can incorporate stars into Halloween things in a way that doesn't feel, I guess, like 2000s-y. Like, I feel like a lot of star stuff ends up just reminding me of, like, my cringy era during the mid-2000s, but for artists who can use it in a way that makes it feel like older and reminds me of kind of a different era of decorating and just production in general, then I love that and I can totally get down with that. She does have a little chip on the side. I don't know if you can see. I'm new to this YouTube thing. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I do have another new one of these, but I'm giving it to my sister and her wife for their anniversary. I'm actually going to be giving them, I have another one of each of these, which, guys, it's so, I'm so annoyed. So for this one, this year, I saw that people were finding this in stores and I decided this is my favorite mug. I would really like another one. When I bought this mug, I had already had a second one, so that one was just a side in case this one ever broke. But when I was looking for this one, I wasn't finding it, and finally caved and got it from a reseller, which I know everyone's gonna get mad at me because I bought JP from a reseller. A couple of the items I have, unfortunately, are from resellers because I just kind of got desperate last year. Anyways, I found someone selling it for, it was like maybe like $12 or $15, somewhere around that range, which is not great. These go, I believe, for $7 or $8 in TJX stores, but it wasn't the worst. People have been selling these mugs for like $25, $30 on Mercari or Poshmark or wherever. So it's like, okay, I'll get it because I know I'm not going to find it. I kid you not, the day after it arrived in the mail, I walked into a TJ store and I saw two of them on the shelf and I was pissed, but I got another one because I was like, it's here and it's cheap and I'm so frustrated that I'm just gonna buy one more. And then I was like, I can't have 3 of these mugs. That's just ridiculous. That's way too much. Maybe I should try and like resell it online, but do it for the price that it is in the TJX store so it at least feels a little bit more fair. But then I realized that I didn't have something that I really liked for my sister for her anniversary. So I was like, she loves Halloween. I have 3 of these and I have 2 of the owls, so I can definitely let go of those and give it to them. They have no idea who Johanna Parker is, which I think is pretty funny that they'll have 2, like, maybe not the most coveted, but pretty coveted pieces of hers, and they have no idea. And if they do get into her, now Carnival Cottage is like canceled. So I don't mean canceled like in the internet way canceled. I mean they discontinued the line, which, you know, if you're into Halloween stuff, then you know all this already. Again, if you clicked on this video, you know who JP is probably, and you know what's up. So anyways, she'll be getting those. I'm gonna have a really fun time explaining to her how much of a like journey it was to obtain those mugs. But moving on. Let's see, the next mug. Let me go with, since I was talking about struggles finding stuff this year, which I know it's been a struggle, especially with Carnival Cottage shutting down. everybody has been trying to go out and get their JP. I feel like I have seen resellers out in the wild. I don't know, they might not be resellers, but somehow I feel like I can tell, which might just be my own delusion. But I feel like I look at them, like I saw this couple in a Home Goods really early, and they had that sort of frantic energy that just, I don't know, the vibe gave reseller, but I know that I also have a frantic energy when I'm there searching for these like coveted pieces, because I know it's going to be really difficult to get my hands on them. So I don't know. I shouldn't judge anyone, but I feel like I've seen them out. But I'll start with another mug that I found this year. This one has been very all over Instagram, Halloween Forever Facebook page. I've seen it a bunch. I saw that they like actually had it in stores, which I found surprising. But I knew chances were really slim, and I ended up getting this guy. Here, I'll put it up closer so you can really see. Look at that. I love the red cheeks and the little like kind of skull and crossbones. The diamond print. Ah! It's so cute. I just go crazy for it. I don't know. I'm a total fanatic. I feel like I would die if I ever just like met Johanna Parker in person. I'm that into her stuff. I don't know. I just find it so charming. But anyways, I knew people were really trying to find this one in stores, and people were finding it, but I felt like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get it. I almost bought it from Traditions, actually, which a lot of resellers have been reselling this one. Like, I've seen it up to like $40 for this resold. Maybe like usually though in the like $25 to $30 range. The Traditions website, which if you don't know, Traditions is a decor, like home decor website that specializes in seasonal decor, especially Halloween and Christmas. And they're brick and mortar stores based in California. It's my dream to make a pilgrimage there. Anyways, they have a bunch of Johanna Parker stuff. They are selling this for $20. So if you don't want to shell out to a reseller who went and got this in store, and also is charging way more for it, they do have it for $20. I will say the Tradition shipping can be kind of expensive. I think it's like $13 shipping. So you might end up in a situation where between, I think like Mercari usually is around $10 shipping. So it might end up around the same, but you would be supporting like this really cool shop that I just can't recommend enough. And they also have a ton of other stuff there. If you spend $100, you get free shipping. So if you have it in your budget, there's a lot that would be worth it to get, including this, including other Johanna Parker. So if you were like struggling and wanted to find a place to spend your money, then you could get these pieces for cheaper than resellers and get free shipping if you buy enough. So this one though, if you can find it in stores, it's $10. So I got this on a day that I went to so many different stores looking for this stuff, and this was like my second to last stop. It's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. It was in kind of one of the worst TJ Maxx's, so I was like, I don't think this is gonna go great, but there she was. She is beautiful, very exciting, and it's also one of the ones that has a topper. I haven't taken this out of the packaging yet, so, but this does come on and off. Let's see. Okay, we need to go over this. My biggest collection of JP mugs that I got at once was... Actually, no, wait. We're gonna wait because I still have one more thing that I got this year. This year I picked up actually from Amazon. I picked up the little pumpkin teacups that are part of the set. There's like a pumpkin teapot. Let's see, there are 2 more of them, so I'll show you. I'll show each of, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show each face one at a time. Look at that. So cute. I love it. Then there's this one. Also adorable. Also love it. Oh, so cute. Then there's this one, which is maybe my favorite because I love her little ooh face. I love that. That one. And then there is this one. So these were $34 on Amazon. Definitely the cheapest that I have seen them. These are Transpac ones, not Carnival Cottage, so they will stick around. They'll still be there. But I liked that these ones, number one, are a more realistic size mug. They're pretty small actually, but they're more realistic to drink out of than the giant ones that she has. So, you know, I probably will mostly just use these for decor. Like, I love to have little touches of things, so probably have bigger pieces and then these kind of sprinkled around. But I also like that they're more realistic. And, you know, I see resellers, I see other websites selling this set for like 40 to 50, and that doesn't include the teapot that you can get. There's like a pumpkin teapot that goes with these that I haven't gotten because the size of it is like pretty similar to the size of the mugs, and I kind of just want like the regular pumpkin mug. So I haven't gotten the teapot yet, but I really wanted these because I really liked the faces on them. So go to Amazon. They usually sell out. I saw them last year. They usually sell out by the time like you get to September. So I would go now, see if whatever the seller is has these. If you just search Johanna Parker pumpkin on Amazon, I'm sure they would come up, or Johanna Parker teacup, I'm sure they would come up. And yeah, I think they're totally worth it for me. I felt like $30, $34 was not bad, and my family has Amazon Prime, so I got free shipping with these. So yeah, that was adorable. That was another mug find specifically that I got this year. Okay, now we have to address the incredible thing that happened to me last year that I know is never going to happen to me again. So I just have to bask in the glory that it happened once, and that's a beautiful thing. I check Facebook Marketplace a lot for Johanna Parker. I check all the like resale websites. And it's not because I'm expecting to find what is really a deal compared to finding it in a TJX store, but it's because I might find more of a deal than the majority of like what's going on with the resellers. So I'd been checking Facebook Marketplace, and most of it was pretty bad. Like, of course, marked up like 100 to 200% off the original price that I know that they've got it for. And then I found this woman in my area selling this huge collection of Johanna Parker mugs for $50 plus a bunch of Rae Dunn stuff. And Rae Dunn is not my favorite. I was mostly in it for the Johanna Parker, but I just couldn't believe it. It was like, I think all told, split between the different items, it would be It ended up being about like $5 per piece, or maybe even under $5 per piece if I were just counting the Johanna Parker stuff, let alone the Rae Dunn stuff. So this one that I showed earlier, the original of these that I got was from that. I also got Bat Guy. Love, 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 love. So cute. Super into it. The bat had been one of the ones that I had really wanted. It's kind of hard to find her bat stuff as much. Like, I've been searching for the bat bowl that everyone is into, but I'm so happy to have one of her bats. Then I got this guy, Mr. Vampire. So cute. Also was searching for this one. I'm pretty sure it might have been these ones. I can't remember what was in a set together. When I didn't know who JP was, and I mentioned this before in my linens video, I like passed up on some Johanna Parker stuff when I first started shopping for Halloween at Home Goods because I didn't realize that she would not be there. I like thought like, oh, well, there will be more of this. Like, this is really cute. I don't really have the budget, but there will be more of this. No, wrong, super wrong, very stupid. So anyways, I'm pretty sure either this or maybe some of the other ones might have been the set that I passed up on. But anyways, regardless, I'm super happy to have him. He's so cute. And you can see that it's a mug. These things are giant. This is like almost as big as my head. This is why I find it ridiculous to actually try and drink out of these style of her mugs specifically. Then I got the Spider Boy. Also love. Also would be ridiculous to drink out of, although I could imagine if you were using these for soup, you could just kind of, you know, yeah. And these are all, they're all in great condition. Like, I don't understand really why she was selling them. I think she just didn't really like it anymore and didn't understand that she could have gotten like way more money for this collection than she did. And frankly, I wasn't gonna tell her because that's the price that she set. So I was just like, yes, I will come and get it, and you know. But anyways, got the Spidey Boy. So cute. Then I got the Ghosty Boy. Also adorable. Has probably one of the weirdest Johanna Parker handles aside from the spider. And this was one, I really like it. I was not going to spend resale level money on it. So I'm really happy to have it. I would not have bought this one from a reseller because I just find the design kind of weird. But again, I think it's still really cute and I'm still perfectly happy to have this, especially for such an affordable price. And then the last one in that collection was one of her more like Thanksgiving guys, so the Scarecrow Boy, which this one, frankly, I would have never bought this if it weren't part of the collection. I'm like a Halloween person, not a Thanksgiving person. But, you know, again, I have no issues with just owning this mug, you know. I think it's still cute even though I would have never got it, and because it was part of a whole lot, there wasn't anything I could do, you know. If I could have gotten something knocked off the price not taking this, then I would have, but it doesn't matter regardless. It's here, and it just kind of goes, the way I did my Johanna Parker setup, I had just like this small little bookcase that I had put them on in different rows, and this guy just kind of filled space on the bottom, you know. Sorry if the scarecrows are something you're super into, it's just not for me. So then the last mugs that I have, I did get from a reseller. They were actually quite affordable. I think that she sold them for like $25, which is only $5 more plus obviously the shipping than it would have been in stores. So I felt like that was quite fair, which was also why I was willing to get them. And they're also ones I have never seen anyone else finding in stores. So they are the Mummy Cat and the Mummy, but with purple accents as opposed to just black and orange accents. And here, we'll start with the Mummy. I saw these online and I was like, yes. So these were actually the first of these kinds of JP mugs that I had bought. And it's just beautiful. I was super happy with them. I felt like I would have been happy with just having these, because I realized, oh man, I am probably not going to be able to obtain the amount of J. Parker that would truly satisfy my soul. But having these super cool, interesting ones that were kind of different than a lot of the ones I was seeing, I was like, I can live with that. I can live with that if these are the only ones that I can afford, which of course was before I got the like crazy deal on those other ones. But this, I think, is my favorite of this style of mug. I mean, come on. It's a cat mummy with a purple little like clown frill thing around it. Like, there's nothing better than that for me. I don't know, maybe I'm just like an easy person to please, but this kind of like makes it for me. I love this so much. It's like, it's kitschy, but it's also very well made and very unique, and it ticks every box and satisfies my soul. So, and these ones, when I've seen people selling the purple ones specifically, I feel like I saw someone selling this set for like $60 on Poshmark or something like that, maybe Mercari. And I just don't, I mean, I understand they want to make money, but I just felt very lucky to find these from someone who is willing to sell it for a pretty affordable price. Probably someone who just wanted to get it off their hands and wasn't really thinking about making like the biggest bang for their buck. So yeah, love it. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna move into non-mug related things, which is the hardest Johanna Parker to find because there's not as much of it. Like, most of her stuff in general is dishware and most of that is mugs. So finding other stuff that is not that is kind of a challenge unless you're getting the really high-end stuff that is very, very pricey. So we're gonna start again with things that I found this year and then kind of work backwards in time. So the first thing, I was able to find one of the owl canisters, like cookie jar canisters, which when I saw this online, I was not convinced. I was like, I don't know, something about it, like it didn't seem as clean. Something about the eyes, the way she painted the eyes didn't feel as like clean to me. It's like I really like the sort of like bold graphic quality of the way that she does her faces. But then I saw it in person. It's like, oh, this is actually really beautiful. And I think that this will fit with a lot of my other decor. I still was searching like a maniac for the cat cookie jar, which still, if I had to choose between the owl and the cat cookie jar, I would have chosen the cat. Shh, don't make her upset. Don't make her upset. But I do also really like this one, and I still love like the little, here I'll give you a close-up view, the little detail on the bottom, and I love the little hat. I think that is just like extremely adorable, and I know that this will be able to hold a lot of candy. When I go through my like vintage thrifted Halloween stuff, you'll see the other cookie jar I have that is also incredible. But I've realized during the Halloween season, I eat way too much candy, so I don't feel bad about now having 2 different Halloween cookie jars. Or I guess candy jars. Really, it's a candy jar, but you know, whatever. But yeah, you can see the like feather detail. She's a beauty. I actually saw at one store 3 of these still on the shelf. So that's a little hope to people who are really hoping to find this piece, that this one was one that I was just seeing a lot more of around. So if you were looking for JP, there's still hope for you. Not all of them get snatched up the second they're put out on the shelf. The other thing I found this year is this bowl, and I really wanted this bowl. I've been looking at this bowl from resellers. I've been like, oh God, do I want to pay like $30 for this bowl from Mercari? It was $13, which by the way, that cookie jar was $20. This I found at Marshall's. I was running out of time before I had to go to work, and I'd already been in Home Goods and TJ Maxx, and I had found that cookie jar at Home Goods. So I was like, oh, I've already done really well today. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna run into Marshall's really quick. I ran to the back, was looking frantically through the Halloween stuff, was about to leave, then was like, I'm just gonna take one last look. And I looked down, and on the bottom shelf, kind of set towards the back, was this little cat beauty with the lovely little trick or treat. Oh, she's so gorgeous. Look at her. I love the little detail on the eyes and the little polka dots around the ears. I feel like this face is just one of her most beautiful faces. It's just gorgeous. So this one is probably going to end up living on my coffee table, also with a bunch of candy put into it, because I literally can never get enough of candy. So, was extremely pleased to find her. And again, I didn't find all the Johanna Parker that I was looking for this year, but between that cookie jar, this bowl, and that dog mug, and the pumpkin mug, honestly, I did pretty well. I did a lot better than I was expecting to. So, there you go. Oh, and there's one more thing that I found. I did so well this year, and I found napkins and an apron and some towels. I actually did extremely well this year as far as Johanna Parker goes. I think because I was like very committed. So this is the other thing that I found. Another one that I almost missed, but I found this adorable little canister, which might end up being like a herb canister, because I sort of live on a farm, so we get like fresh herbs that we dry out all the time. So I might put that in here, but it doesn't matter. I don't care what goes in it, really. It's just the cutest thing ever. And I know there are ones of this type where the ghost has its like arms out like this, but I actually really love this one. It's kind of hard to see, where it's kind of doing a like very demure little, huh, ooh, ooh, yeah, ooh. Anyways, this one, it was the same thing. So now whenever I go into a store, I have to walk around like 5 times because I was about to leave. I had found all this Eli and Anna stuff, so I was already quite pleased. And then I found this one and was just like, how did I miss this? I was about to walk away. It didn't even have a price on it, so they had to go and find the price. So this one was $8. And I just can't believe that I found that many things. And, you know, to people who are struggling to find this stuff, because I know a lot of people are, a lot of it just takes like committing to, like for me, I committed to like a couple hours on every one of my days off to go to stores to look for this. I think at the end of the day, to get all this stuff, let's see, I went to 2 Marshalls, 4 TJ Maxx's, maybe 3 TJ Maxx's, and 4 Home Goods. So I went to like 9 different stores to try and find all of this. And I know, like, thankfully, I live in an area where there are a lot of these all within like a pretty drivable distance from each other. And I also kind of split my time between where I am here and my second job is only on weekends, and it's like an hour away, so I drive down there. So I also have time in another part of the state where, you know, I can go to the ones in that area when I'm down there already. So I don't have to make like as like specific a pilgrimage. But if you're kind of sad that you're not finding these, I know it really sucks, but you might just have to dedicate the time to go and check as many stores in your area as you possibly can. And continually, like all of those stores that I listed, the few of those that were closest to me, I checked multiple times. I like kept going back to see. So, which again, I know that's not possible for everybody, but that's just like the reality of trying to find this stuff that's extremely sought after and that resellers are just going to snap up like that. And people who love it, people who aren't resellers. Like, as soon as I see JP in stores, I go and snap it up too. So you have a really high demand for this stuff, and I understand feeling frustrated, but sadly, a lot of people just have to have a certain like level of time they're able to commit to searching for it. So I hope you're able to find your JP. Let's move on to some other stuff. So last year, I found one of the few pieces I was able to actually find in Home Goods was one of these little lantern guys. I think this one is out of battery. No, it still has some battery. I'll have to keep that off. I was very excited to see this. In fact, there were 2, and I always love when there are 2 because it gives me the chance to kind of compare and find the one with the best paint job, because the one downside to Johanna Parker is that her pieces do not always have the best paint job, and even this one, like you can see the whiskers could have been painted on better, but still lovely, very beautiful, and not very expensive. I believe that this one was also $8, and I love putting it out. I wish I had been able to find one that was like the little O face, but I'm happy to have found one of either of the types that they put out. I'm pretty sure they only put out the smiling face and the like little ooh face. Ooh. I did also get this from a reseller. This I paid too much money for. I'm sure of it. I don't remember exactly how much I paid. I think I paid like $30 for it, but everything about it was just so beautiful. The little spoon that detaches, the head comes off. It's kind of like a soup bowl. I'll never use this as a soup bowl. This one is one of the ones that's like far too precious for me to ever try and use. So I am perfectly happy just getting to love it and have it and display it. I didn't even realize that she sold these. I think she has another one too. I can't remember what the design is. It might be pumpkin. I love the cats. I love her pumpkins too, but my favorite of hers are definitely the cats. So, love this one. Ugh. Beautiful. It makes my heart sing. These I also got from a reseller. These little light up ones. Also probably paid too much money for them. Also don't regret it though because they were super adorable. I put them out every year. I like to have a mixture of different sizes of things. So not only are these so cute, but they also are sizes that really work for adding little accents with other stuff. The pumpkin is definitely my favorite, but I also love the owl, and them together is like a match made in heaven. I love that she does sets of things that are not just the same. That's one of the things I really like. She'll do things that complement each other really well, but are quite different and can work on their own. Like you could have this as a set. Like last year when I was decorating, I had them together, but you could also separate them out. I might do a little owl sort of vignette because I now have a bunch of different owl stuff, but we'll see. So these, love it. I wish I could have found them in stores, but I'm also just happy to have them. And also, like, when I get stuff from resellers, I will find the cheapest one that I possibly can. So I don't remember how much I got these for, but I do remember that it is the cheapest that I ever saw those. So if you're looking for something specific, I would really recommend like checking back and checking back and checking back and seeing, okay, there's got to be someone who is not selling this for just a price that feels like highway robbery. So the last couple things I have, which I need to finish up because my partner's going to be home soon and I want to be able to finish this. These are the only salt and pepper shaker of hers I've ever been able to find in stores, but I did find these in a Home Goods. This was the first year that I was getting Johanna Parker stuff, so I passed up on the mugs, but I did get these little salt and pepper shakers, which I'm pretty sure were $10. I think that's how much her salt and pepper shakers are. It's like, here, let's see if I can get it to focus. This one, that was my favorite set. I would have loved to have the one that's just 2 pumpkins and they're just regular pumpkins. I feel like in the future, if I can ever find that set for a reasonable price from a reseller, I will definitely buy them. But I am perfectly happy with these cats because these I just thought were super cute. And this has always been my favorite of her salt and pepper shaker sets. I would also love to have the ghosties, but this, totally happy with it. So glad I got it. And the last that I can't even remember where I bought this from. It might have been a Home Goods. It might have been online. Might have actually been Traditions. I think I might have gotten this from Traditions. I'm pretty sure I did get this from Traditions, but it is a little wooden cat. Just a little wooden cat. It's one of her, like, best of the little wooden pieces, in my opinion. The tail that's holding the little jack-o'-lantern, like, treat bucket. The hat. The cat. This was just, it was very classic. And again, this was, like, right at the beginning of realizing, oh, I really like this artist. And I just wanted like something small because I was realizing, oh, she's kind of expensive when you get her online. So I got this cat and I'm very happy with it. I love putting it out. This is now, I think this will be my 3rd year on my JP collection. So, and this one is pretty well painted. I will say, I know people have issues with the way that JP stuff gets painted. It's not all great. It's too bad because really the best scenario is when you're in a store and there's multiple of one item, so you can kind of pick out which one has the best paint job, which is usually not the situation that anybody is in. Usually it's like, either I'm getting this online and I have no say, or there's only one thing and I'm just scrambling to get it because it's here and I'm never gonna find it again. So, but I feel like this one is pretty well painted, and I also don't really mind. I mean, it's like, she's kind of just like a high-end folk artist, and one of the sort of core things about folk art that I've seen is that there is attention to detail in certain areas where it might not be as important in other areas. So like having all the little flourishes and stuff, there's that kind of attention to detail, but needing every single one of those little flourishes to be perfect, that's not as big. There's not as big of an emphasis on that in folk art that I just have like seen around and looked at. Like I've looked at a ton of folk art in like actual art books and stuff like that because I'm really into all of that. And there's a character quality that it has that's part of what makes the piece unique, that is not necessarily following certain standards of like cleanness of design that we're typically used to. And I know that for Johanna Parker, it's probably true that a lot of her stuff is not cleanly painted because it's coming from a factory that is just not having that level of attention to detail. But I feel like at least it still kind of fits the folk art ethos, even if that's the case. So with that being said, that is the end of my Johanna Parker collection. As I said, it is both a lot and also not enough. It feels like I see it all out here and I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish I had more. I wish I had that bat bowl and that cat canister. I'm assuming for Christmas this year I'm gonna ask for like stuff from resellers of Carnival Cottage. Again, I know people hate buying from resellers. It kind of feels like a dirty secret when you do buy from a reseller, but even though I am a collector, there have been very few times where I've found like a specific artist where I wanted their collection. So I'll have like generalized things like Halloween decor. Generally I collect it, but rarely am I like, oh no, I want this artist thing specifically. So I don't feel that bad about feeding into it, even though I know that I have too much. So yeah, I'm gonna, for the next video, do the things that I've thrifted, because obviously there is a lot of money spent over a couple years here. But I just want to show how many cute things I've been able to find at thrift stores to, again, maybe give hope to people who have like a much more limited budget or maybe are just starting their collection. So you don't have this like buildup of things that you've been able to accumulate yet. So you might feel a little left behind, like, oh, these people have so much stuff and I just don't have much at all. I would say start going out to your Goodwills and your local thrift stores. The more local you can shop, the better, because I know Goodwill has been raising their prices a bunch, and I just haven't found much Halloween this year. But there are ways that you can get your hands on really cool pieces that will only cost you like pocket change, essentially. And I know for a lot of people, pocket change is still pocket change. That money still matters, but it feels a lot better. It can feel a lot better if you're getting a piece that you really like that also only costs about as much as like a medium coffee, rather than a piece that feels like, ooh, this is like really this is like cutting into my grocery budget a little bit. Like, you never want to be in that type of a situation. So I'm hoping when I show you that stuff, it'll be fun for you to see stuff that you probably haven't seen before because it's all just like random. And also for you to see how one can accumulate a collection of Halloween stuff for much cheaper than only getting your stuff at TJX stores and at like actual antique stores and, you know, at big box stores in general. Like, you definitely do not need, and I would not recommend only getting your decoration collection from those stores. Not only for budget's sake, but also just for uniqueness. You know, like, I feel like I have Halloween items that I don't think anyone has, that I have never seen anything close to before in, like, another store. And some of it is probably from big box stores, but it's just from years ago. So it's collections that they just don't sell anymore. So at any rate, with that said, that's going to be the end of the JP video. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed getting to see that whole collection. It was really fun to get to share that because, you know, Johanna Parker is great. And I do also want to make a video going over other sort of Halloween folk artists who I think are not as recognized but are also really great and really awesome and definitely worth, like, if you see their pieces, I would highly recommend getting them as both like investment pieces but also just because it's really high quality and nice. And that's going to be some of the things that you'll see in the video are ones that I kind of like stumbled upon that I didn't realize were this really awesome artist who does a bunch of Halloween folk art, who is just great, and who I hope I can accumulate more pieces from later on in the future when I haven't blown my whole budget. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and keep it spooky. Keep it spooky, keep it kooky, I guess. Bye.